Okay, next is decentralization. Okay lang ba kayo?
Opo, sir.
Yes po.
Bagay, no choice naman. Ano? Decentralized options and segment reporting. The expected learning outcomes describe a decentralized type of organization, explain the importance of decentralization in a responsibility accounting system, enumerate the advantages, prepare a segment income statement using contribution margin format, explain the difference between variable and common fixed cost, and understand the problems related to cost assignment. Okay. Yun ang concept ng decentralized operation. Normally, sa isang kumpanya, pag kakaumpisa mo pa lang, kaka-establish mo pa lang ng company mo, normally ikaw yung may control over your entire operation, including human resource, accounting, production, even in the security, pati ang sanitation, ikaw din lahat. Pag maliit pa lang yung kumpanya or kaka-start mo pa lang, you wanted to have full control of your company. Now, as you grow old or you grow big, nagkakaroon ka na ng limitation in terms of controlling your company, in terms of time, in terms of resources, in terms of strength, ability. Medyo nababawasan na, nagkakaroon ka ng limitation because you're getting bigger. You are now having a larger group of people, kaya nababawasan na yung ability mo o yung capacity mo to manage your entire operation. And therefore, dito papasok ngayon yung term na decentralized. Meaning, you are now delegating some of your authority throughout an organization or to your to other people within your organization that you feel has the responsibility over that transaction or activities or department doon sa organization mo. Dinedelegate mo na yung authority mo because nga hindi mo na kaya. So in a decentralized organizations, managers are allowed at various operating levels the authority to make decisions relating to their area of responsibility. Okay, so kung ganun ang sistema ng decentralized, medyo dispersed yung decision making and the authority, meron siyang advantages and of course some limitations when you apply a decentralized type of operation. Ano yung mga possible advantages niyan na binigay mo yung authority mo sa iba? It creates greater responsiveness to local needs. Since wala ka nang masyadong time to go to a particular department or kung yan ay branch, to go to a local branch kasi busy ka to other matters. Yung nabigyan mo ng authority na manager, mas relevant yung kanyang magiging decision to his responsible department, to his responsibilities in his department kasi siya yung nandoon. Siya yung nakakakita ng sitwasyon, siya yung may alam ng sitwasyon kasi siya yung nandun mismo sa sitwasyon na sa department na yun. Unlike you, na medyo may distance ka from that department, hindi mo nakikita yung everyday operations nila. Kaya when you make decentralized operation, apply a decentralized operation, the decision making becomes more responsive to the needs of that particular department. It leads to a gain from a quicker decision making. Mas mabilis ngayong mag-decide kasi nga sila ay nakakalam ng situation kung kailan kailangan yung decision, doon apply nila agad. And they don't have to go to you para magtanong kung ano yung decision mo. Sa level pa lang nila, they can make decisions already and then they can implement it right away. So medyo mas mabilis yung impact ng decision making. It increased motivation to subunit managers. You know, this is one of the intrinsic benefit sa mga managers natin. Yung feeling of you are important, you are significant because they need your decision. They need you. So, kapag ka ganun, nag-decentralize ka daw, binibigyan mo ng opportunity yung mga managers mo to decide on their own. And therefore, na-motivate sila to perform well because alam nila sa sarili nila that this is my responsibility. So, kung maganda yung output nito, maganda rin yung feedback sa akin. It will reflect to me. Kaya na-motivate sila to perform well. It aids management to develop more learnings for their employees, especially dun sa mga managers nila because hindi naman din ganun kadali ang decision making. So if you were able to provide opportunity and experience to your management or to your subunit managers, the process of making decision, they will learn from it, and then in the future they can apply it also dun sa magiging mga experience pa nila. It sharpens the focus of subunit managers. Ayun na nga, no? Kasi sila yung nakakita, kaya they know kung ano yung dapat nilang gawin. Decisions are best made at the level in an organization where problems and opportunity arise. Yes, because yun na nga, sila yung nandoon mismo sa problem. They know actually what to do. It's just that they feel na parang they don't want to decide because they are not the top management or the owner. Pero if you delegate to them that authority to decide, yun, madali nilang masusolusyonan yung mga problems na yun. Lalo na kung yan ay mga opportunities. Because alam natin, whenever opportunity knocks, kailangan mong i-grab right away. Otherwise, madaling mawala yung opportunity. Kaya, we need faster decision. And one way of doing that is to decentralize, provide your subunit managers the opportunity to make decision. Management is relieved of much day-to-day problem solving and is left free to concentrate on long-range planning and coordination of efforts. So, kung ikaw yung top manager, ikaw yung owner, di mo na iintindihin yun kung kailangan pa bang magdagdag ng tao, may alising tao, i-improve ang processes, lagyan ng tag price, hindi mo na iintindihin yun. You can now focus on other important things, lalo yung mga long-range plan natin, strategic plan natin, you can now focus more on that. Segment managers obtain more job satisfaction. Like I've said kanina, part kasi ng intrinsic rewards managers and are encouraged to put forth their best efforts by giving other responsibilities and decision-making authority. It provides excellent training to managers, like I've said kanina, by giving them greater decision-making control over their segments, better and faster performance evaluation. Next is limitation of decentralization. Hold on. Okay. Of course, kung merong advantage, meron ding disadvantage ang decentralization. Like dysfunctional decision making may result to suboptimal or incongruent decision making. Since you delegate the decisions to your subunit managers, baka meron silang maging mga decisions na hindi aligned sa ating strategic plan, or it may be suboptimal, meaning hindi the best decisions that we can get. Kasi sila lang yung nakapag-isip nun. And sometimes, may mga ganong situation na bago yung manager, hindi pa siya sanay, nag-decision siya, baka hindi yun yung the best decision na nagawa niya. Kasi wala pa siyang previous experience, kaya it may be a suboptimal decision. Manager's attention may be focused only on the subunit rather than the organization as a whole. So dahil mas localized yung perspective ng managers natin o sub-managers natin, their decision may be focused on their unit only, hindi contributory sa entire organization. Kaya instead of it will create contribution or help for the entire organization to achieve its goal, medyo mababa yung contribution niya or hindi nakaka-contribute, dagdag problema. And the cost of gathering the information is increased since sa top level, wala kang access dun sa mga decisions nila, sa mga details nung decisions na yon and informations na yon. Medyo kailangan mo pa silang tatawagan mo sila, you will ask them, you will require them to send the details, so it will increase your cost. Papatawag ka pa ng meeting, set up pa yon, lahat pa yon. So activities may be also be duplicated. Kung nagawa na dun sa isang unit, posibleng gagawin ulit sa isang unit na pwede namang hindi ulitin. Kaya there's a tendency na ma-duplicate yung activity na yun. Okay, and then yung performance report produced by each segment, we call it segment reporting, to provide the top management informations about profitability of the product lines maybe, or that divisions, or that sales, that territories, or a certain segment of the company. Kaya sa tinawag na segment reporting particular doon sa branch na yun, sa department na yun, or pwede rin particular lang doon sa product line na yun, yung report na yun. We call it segment reporting. So it emphasizes performance of a profit or investment center rather than the performance of the company as a whole. Now, when you do segment reporting, walang limit kung hanggang saan mo gustong i-segment. Gusto mong, after mong i-segment by division, i-segment mo siya in terms of product lines, pwede naman. After mong i-segment by product lines, gusto mong i-segment uli by territories, pwede uli. So walang limit as to how many segments would you like to prepare the report. Kasi it's up to you whether you need it or hindi mo yun kailangan. Kasi depende yun sa kailangan mo. Gusto mo, kung ano yung gusto mong makita. Gusto mo pang makita kung aling product yung nagpo-provide ng income, pwede rin naman. So that is based on product lines. Okay, I have here an example of a segment report, an income statement by segment. So dito, ang segmentation niya is based on division, pharmaceutical division and agricultural division. Okay, what you can realize only or notice here only is that in presenting your segment reports, dapat yung total ng division balance dun sa entire organization. Okay? Kasi baka mayan, when you distribute your sales, hindi nagbalance saan nanggaling yung total na yun. And then, kita mo din agad yung division na gusto mo. Kailangan may proper heading ka kapag nagsisegment reporting ka. And then, what you can realize also dito or recognize also is yung cost is allocated to each division or segments. Kaya identified mo aling division ang may highest cost, aling division ang may highest revenue or segment margin. Okay? And then when you prepare your segment report, I highlighted traceable or controllable fixed cost. Doon muna sa controllable bago yung traceable and common cost. Kaya siya tinawag na controllable because that particular division or segment has control over that fixed cost. Say merong rent yung pharmaceutical division, may control siya over that fixed cost. Kasi siya yung nagre-rent nung warehouse niya doon. So sa agricultural, kung meron din siya mga fixed cost doon like electricity or communication expense na fixed. So at siya lang ang gumagamit noon. So that's controllable by that particular division. Meron din namang mga uncontrollable fixed cost or fixed cost that is controllable by others. Ito yon. 70 and 50. Kasi merong mga fixed cost na hindi nila hawak ang pagbaba o pagtaas nun. Like halimbawa salary nung division manager na yon. Wala siyang control over that amount or cost, but that is applicable to his division kasi salary niya yon. Kaya meron mga fixed cost na controlled by others or uncontrollable doon sa division na yon. Okay? Now, those fixed costs na controllable or uncontrollable by the particular department is traceable doon sa department na yon. Meaning, imposible na yung 70,000 uncontrollable cost by pharmaceutical division will be charged to agricultural division. Kasi that particular cost is traceable to that division. Okay? Hindi pwedeng malipat sa iba kasi sa kanya talaga yon. So that is what you call traceable cost. And then, yung tinatawag namang mga common cost, these are costs na hindi traceable to any particular department or division, but still a cost that needs to be allocated. So, yung mga unallocated natin dito, hindi pa na-allocate, manufacturing 40, selling and admin 20. Say for example, ba't may 40 dito sir na manufacturing? Hindi ba pag manufacture yung pharmaceutical at saka agricultural, magkahiwalay naman sila? But anong tong cost na possible na manufacturing cost na common to all? Say electricity, part ng overhead natin, or maybe security, ang binabantayan ng security guard is the entire plant na nandun din yung pharmaceutical and agricultural. So, they share a common cost. So, ina-allocate yon. How do we allocate common cost? It depends. Pwedeng based on area of coverage. Pwedeng outputs. Pwedeng time. Pwedeng numbers of employees. At kung ano-ano pang pwedeng basis of allocating common cost. So even if it is a selling and admin cost, it should also be allocated. All common costs should be allocated. So meron kang mako-compute na net income for each division that has a contribution to the net income of the entire organization. So actually, kahit hindi naman tayo mag-arrive dito, dahil this one are common costs, pwede mo nang hindi i-distribute. Dito pa lang sa segment margin, kita mo na agad kung nagko-contribute ba yung division na yon sa ating organization. Sandali lang ha. Wala yung aso eh. Ano yung sinasabi ko? Ayun. Sa segment margin pa lang, kita mo na alin yung nagko-contribute. So dito sa case, sa example natin, agricultural division, meron siyang negative segment margin. Okay? Now, initially, ang thinking mo, sir, ang laki nung kanyang loss, 40,000. That's why yung 110 ni pharmaceutical, inabsorb yung 40,000 na loss, nag-70,000 na tayo dito. If we will remove agricultural division, ang may iwan dyan na cost, dahil hindi mo na siya matatanggal, ay yung 50,000. Mawawalan ng sales, kasi pag turn off natin yung agricultural, wala ng sales, walang variable. Hold on. Ano yung pinag-uusapan natin? Traceable and common cause, no? So kung i-eliminate natin yon, ang may iwan dyan is yung traceable, fixed cost, controllable by others. Kasi yung controllable fixed cost ng agriculture division, pag inalis mo yung division, mawawala din yun eh. Pero itong 50,000 na to, hindi mo yan matanggal kahit tanggalin mo yung agriculture department. So, if that is the case, alin ang mas beneficial sa company to retain agriculture department or division with a negative 40,000 or remove agriculture division but we will absorb 50,000 non-controllable fixed cost. Mas malaki yung 50 over 40. No? So, i-maintain mo na lang yung agriculture kahit pa mag-negative sila ng 40, 40 lang ang nabawas sa atin. Unlike yung 50, ibabawas mo ng buo doon. Walang mag-a-absorb ng 50. Ikaw ang mag-a-absorb nun. So, ito yung magiging benchmark mo to make a decision. If the loss incurred by the agriculture department is now 50 or more, yung 50 indifferent ka, pwede ka pang hindi magtanggal ng agriculture department. Kasi tanggalin mo o hindi, meron kang 50 na babawas sa income mo. More than 50, ayan, pwede ka nang mag-decide whether you will discontinue operating that particular department. Okay? Pasensya, may tumawag kasi si Dean Tess. Do you have any question?
Wala naman po, sir.
Wala na naman. Ang gagaling naman talaga. O.
Pag nag-start na po ng project, baka po may talong kami. Pag nagsagot na po ng project.
Yes. Na-post ko na yung project na, teka lang let's remove the record.